In the heart of New Jersey, there's a house that has become synonymous with terror, a place where the fabric of reality seems to have been torn apart, leaving behind a trail of fear, anxiety, and an unrelenting sense of being watched. This is the story of the Watcher House, a tale that delves into the darkest corners of the human psyche, where the lines between reality and paranoia are blurred beyond recognition. To understand the gravity of this story, we must first immerse ourselves in the rich history of the house and its surroundings, a history that spans centuries and is as complex as it is intriguing. The Watcher House, located in the affluent neighborhood of Westfield, New Jersey, has a history that dates back to the early 20th century. The house itself is a grand, Dutch colonial-style mansion, with 6 bedrooms, a sprawling backyard, and a facade that exudes an air of elegance and refinement. But beneath its picturesque exterior, the house holds a dark and sinister secret, one that would change the lives of its inhabitants forever. To grasp the full extent of this story, we must travel back in time, to an era when the house was first built, and the world was a vastly different place. In the early 1900s, Westfield, New Jersey, was a small, quaint town, surrounded by rolling hills and lush green forests. The town was primarily agricultural, with many farmers tilling the land and harvesting crops to sustain their families. As the years went by, however, the town began to undergo a transformation, driven by the expansion of the railroad and the growth of industry. More and more people moved to Westfield, drawn by the promise of jobs and a better life. The town's population swelled, and with it, the need for housing and infrastructure. It was during this period of rapid growth that the Watcher House was built, a testament to the town's prosperity and the ambitions of its residents. The house was constructed in the 1920s, by a wealthy family who had made their fortune in the steel industry. The family, whose name has been lost to history, was known for their philanthropy and their love of architecture. They spared no expense in building their dream home, importing materials from Europe and hiring the finest craftsmen in the country. The result was a house that was truly a masterpiece, a symphony of stone, wood, and glass that seemed to come alive in the sunlight. But as beautiful as the house was, it was not without its flaws, flaws that would later become the source of endless terror for its inhabitants. As the decades passed, the house changed hands several times, each new owner leaving their mark on its history. There were the young couples, who filled the house with laughter and children, and the retirees, who sought to live out their golden years in peace and quiet. But regardless of who lived there, the house seemed to retain a sense of mystery, a sense that something was not quite right. It was as if the house was waiting for the perfect moment to reveal its true nature, to unleash the terror that lurked within its walls. Fast forward to 2014, when the house was purchased by a family of 4, the Broadduses. The Broadduses were a typical American family, with 2 young children and a love of suburban life. They were drawn to the house by its beauty and its history, and they saw it as the perfect place to raise their family. But from the moment they moved in, they knew that something was off. The house seemed to be watching them, its empty rooms and corridors exuding an air of malevolence. At first, they dismissed it as mere paranoia, the result of too many horror movies and a vivid imagination. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, the family began to realize that they were not alone in the house. It started with small things, creaks and groans in the night, and an unshakable feeling of being watched. The family would wake up in the middle of the night, to the sound of footsteps outside their bedroom door, or the rustling of leaves in the backyard. At first, they thought it was just the house settling, or the wind blowing through the trees. But as the occurrences grew more frequent, and more intense, they began to suspect that something more sinister was at play. It was then that they discovered the letters that would change their lives forever. The letters were addressed to the family, but they were not signed. They were typed on a plain white sheet of paper, with no indication of who had written them or why. The letters were creepy, to say the least, filled with references to the family's personal lives, and a level of detail that was unsettling. The writer claimed to have been watching the family, to have been waiting for them to move into the house. The letters were always polite, always courteous, but they were laced with a sense of menace, a sense that the writer was not to be trifled with. As the family read through the letters, they began to feel a sense of unease, a sense that they were being stalked by a ghostly figure, a figure that was always lurking just out of sight. The letters were always vague, never giving away too much, but they were always there, waiting for the family to make a wrong move. The family tried to brush it off, to convince themselves that it was just a prank, but deep down, they knew that something was not right. They started to feel like they were living in a horror movie, with the Watcher as the main antagonist. The family's first instinct was to contact the police, to report the strange occurrences and the creepy letters. But as they delved deeper into the mystery, they realized that the police were not equipped to deal with this kind of situation. The police were skeptical, to say the least, and they seemed to think that the family was just trying to get attention. The family was frustrated, to say the least, and they felt like they were on their own. They decided to take matters into their own hands, to try and uncover the identity of the Watcher. As they dug deeper, they discovered that the house had a history of strange occurrences, a history that dated back decades. There were stories of ghostly apparitions, and unexplained noises, stories that had been passed down from generation to generation. The family began to suspect that the Watcher was not just a person, but a presence that had been awakened by their arrival. They started to feel like they were in a desperate fight for their sanity, and their lives. The family's investigation led them to talk to the neighbors, to see if they had experienced anything similar. But as they spoke to the neighbors, they realized that the Watcher was not just a local phenomenon, but a global one. There were stories of similar occurrences, from all over the world, stories of families being stalked by ghostly figures. The family began to feel like they were part of a larger conspiracy, a conspiracy that went beyond their wildest imagination. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, the family's sense of unease grew. They felt like they were living in a state of siege, with the Watcher always lurking just out of sight. They started to feel like they were losing their grip on reality, like they were trapped in a never-ending nightmare. And then, just when they thought it couldn't get any worse, the letters stopped. The family was left with an unsettling sense of calm, a sense that the Watcher was just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The family's story is a complex one, full of twists and turns, and it's a story that we will continue to explore in the coming days. But for now, let's just say that the Watcher house is a place where the lines between reality and fantasy are blurred, a place where the past and the present collide. And as we delve deeper into the mystery, we can't help but wonder, what really happened to the Broaddus family, and what secrets does the Watcher house still hold? The answer, much like the Watcher itself, remains elusive, but one thing is certain, the truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered. And as we continue our journey into the heart of darkness, we can't help but ask, what will we find, and will we make it out alive? The Watcher house is a place where terror reigns supreme, and the truth is always hiding in the shadows, waiting to pounce. And now, as we stand at the threshold of this haunted mansion, we can't help but wonder, are we being watched? As we left off in our previous installment of The Watcher House, someone was watching them, the mysterious letters and the eerie feeling of being watched had taken a toll on the Broaddus family. Despite their best efforts to uncover the truth behind the sinister messages, they were met with dead ends and unanswered questions. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it's only the beginning of a much larger and more complex web of secrets and lies. As the investigation continued, the Broaddus family began to experience strange occurrences that went beyond just the letters. They would find strange objects moved around their home, and some even reported seeing shadowy figures lurking in the woods behind their property. It was as if the Watcher was not just a passive observer, but an active participant in their lives. The family was at a loss for what to do, and the police seemed powerless to stop the harassment. But then, a breakthrough. A former resident of the house came forward, claiming that she had experienced similar strange occurrences during her time living there. She revealed that the house had a dark history, with rumors of a former owner who had been involved in occult practices. It seemed that the Watcher was not just a person, but a malevolent force that had been awakened by some unknown event. As the family delved deeper into the history of the house, they discovered that it had been built on an ancient Native American burial ground. The land had been sacred to the local tribe, and the construction of the house had desecrated the site. It was as if the Watcher was a manifestation of the land itself, seeking revenge on the living for disturbing the rest of the dead. But the Broaddus family was not one to give up easily. They were determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, no matter what it took. They hired a team of paranormal investigators, who set up equipment throughout the house in an attempt to capture evidence of the Watcher's existence. And then, one night, they got their proof. A camera caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure lurking in the hallway, and an audio recording picked up a faint whispering in the walls. It was the Watcher, and it was real. The family was shocked and terrified, but also relieved that they were not losing their minds. They finally had proof that they were not alone in the house. But as they continued to investigate, they began to uncover a darker truth. The Watcher was not just a ghost or a spirit, but a human being with a twisted and sinister mind. They discovered that the former owner of the house, the one who had been involved in occult practices, had been using the house as a hub for his twisted activities. He had been using the house to summon and worship dark entities, and the Watcher was the result of his experiments. The family was horrified, and they knew that they had to get out of the house as soon as possible. They packed their bags and left, never looking back. But the legacy of the Watcher lived on, a cautionary tale about the dangers of meddling with forces beyond our understanding. Today, the Watcher house stands as a testament to the horrors that took place within its walls. The house has been abandoned for years, a haunted monument to the terror that the Broaddus family experienced. But the story of the Watcher serves as a reminder that there are forces beyond our understanding, forces that can be awakened by our actions. The Watcher house has become a legendary haunted house, with many claiming to have seen the ghostly figure of the Watcher lurking in the windows. Others have reported strange occurrences and unexplained events, all of which have added to the house's notorious reputation. But the impact of the Watcher house goes beyond just the paranormal community. The story has been the subject of numerous books, articles, and documentaries, all of which have helped to cement its place in the annals of American folklore. The Watcher house has become a cultural touchstone, a symbol of the fears and anxieties that we all experience. And yet, despite all the attention, the true identity of the Watcher remains a mystery. Some believe that it was the former owner of the house, still trapped in the world of the living. Others believe that it was a malevolent spirit, summoned by the occult practices that took place within the house. But one thing is certain, the Watcher is a reminder that there are forces beyond our understanding, forces that can be awakened by our actions. As we conclude our documentary series on the Watcher house, we are left with more questions than answers. What is the true nature of the Watcher? Is it a ghost, a spirit, or something more sinister? And what can we learn from the experiences of the Broaddus family? The story of the Watcher house is a complex and multifaceted one, full of twists and turns that challenge our understanding of the world. It is a reminder that there are forces beyond our control, forces that can be both fascinating and terrifying. And it is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, which can overcome even the most daunting challenges. As we reflect on the story of the Watcher house, we are reminded of the importance of respecting the unknown. We must be careful not to awaken forces that we do not understand, and we must be mindful of the consequences of our actions. The Watcher house is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of meddling with forces beyond our control. And so, as we bring this documentary series to a close, we invite you to join us on a journey into the unknown. Explore the mysteries of the Watcher house, and discover the secrets that lie within its walls. Join us as we delve into the world of the paranormal, and uncover the truth behind the most haunted house in America. If you've enjoyed this documentary series, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We have a wide range of documentaries and series that explore the unknown, the unexplained, and the supernatural. From haunted houses to UFO sightings, we cover it all. And with new content added every week, you'll never be bored. So join us on this journey into the unknown, and discover the secrets that lie beyond the veil of reality. Subscribe to our channel today, and get ready to explore the most mysterious and fascinating topics out there. And as we say goodbye to the Watcher house, we leave you with one final question: what secrets lie hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered? The story of the Watcher House is a reminder that there are forces beyond our understanding, forces that can be both fascinating and terrifying. It is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, which can overcome even the most daunting challenges. And it is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of meddling with forces beyond our control. As we conclude our documentary series, we hope that you have enjoyed this journey into the unknown. We hope that you have been fascinated by the story of the Watcher House, and that you have been inspired to explore the mysteries of the paranormal. And we hope that you will join us again, as we continue to explore the unknown, the unexplained, and the supernatural. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary series. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and get ready to explore the most mysterious and fascinating topics out there. The unknown is waiting, and we're just getting started.